decline in price between March and April. Energy prices did go up, although gas prices at the pump that you put into your car did go down. Shelter costs going up by a little bit, but nonetheless, it's really worth pointing out here that the inflation report does not factor in the full impact of the tariffs. As we know, many of those tariff rates have actually been pulled back in the last few weeks, but there are only certain signs of the tariffs, like in car parts, excluding tires. But for the most part, really, we haven't seen any sort of substantial price increases, in part because a lot of these tariff announcements were only implemented for a few weeks during the period that this survey covered.
Well, and speaking of all of that, we've got this new deal this week with China where there's going to be a 90-day pause starting tomorrow, right? So how's that weighing into businesses deciding how much to import, bring in terms of products to sell?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, the top lines from lowering the temperature on the tariffs that we have on China from 145% to 30% is welcome news to the business industry, but you still have some people that are reminding everyone, look, 30% is still substantial. It's still a lot higher than it was prior to the president coming into the office on January 20th. So Gene Soroka, he is the head of the Port of Los Angeles, where many major goods come into the United States. He was warning today that your refrigerator, outdoor patio set, regular stuff is just not going to come and flood the marketplace because we've gone from 145 to 30%. That does suggest that supply chain crunches could still happen as a result of those high tariffs.
And then, Brian, briefly, there was a legal challenge to President Trump's tariffs in federal court. What are the stakes here?
Yeah, what we're talking about is the U.S. Court of International Trade. They're trying to basically hear this case that a number of domestic businesses have been putting out there. They're arguing that the reciprocal, so-called reciprocal tariffs the president put in place were not things that he could have done under his power. The Department of Justice, again, under his administration, is arguing that the law does allow them to do so. This could be a thorn in the side of the administration in terms of whether or not these tariffs are legal, but again, remains to be seen how this court will decide.
All right, Brian, John, thank you.
Well, Eric and Lyle Menendez are back in court today, virtually appearing for the start of their long